Hey everyone, welcome back to Miss English AI. I'm Paul, and I'm so happy you're here again. If you listened to our last episode, you'll remember we talked about how to speak English confidently, even when you feel nervous or shy. Well, today, we're taking the next big step. Because confidence is great, but what happens after that? You start speaking, but your brain still keeps translating from your native language into English, right? Yeah, you know that moment when you want to say something and your brain goes, okay, think in your language first, now translate it. Wait, how do I say that in English? By the time you finish, the conversation is already over. So today, Ina and I are going to show you how to stop that, how to think directly in English, just like native speakers do.
Hi everyone, it's me, Ina. And Paul, you're absolutely right. That's such a common problem. Even advanced learners sometimes struggle with it. See, when we translate every word in our head, it slows us down. It makes speaking English feel heavy, unnatural, and sometimes even stressful. But here's the good news. You can train your brain to think in English. It's not magic, it's practice. And today, we're going to show you step by step how to do it in a fun, simple way.
Exactly. And before we start, let's get one thing straight. Thinking in English doesn't mean you're always perfect or using big words. No one thinks in dictionary English, not even native speakers. When I think, I don't go, yes, today I shall commence my morning activities. I just think, okay, time to get up. Thinking in English simply means your thoughts come naturally, without translating. It's about making English part of your mental world.
Exactly. It's like building a new English zone in your brain. And at first, that zone is small, maybe just a few words or short sentences. But the more you practice, the bigger it gets. So let's start with something simple. Daily thoughts. Every morning when you wake up, instead of thinking in your own language, try saying small English sentences in your mind. I'm waking up. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm drinking water. I'm getting ready for work.
Exactly. These are real, natural thoughts you have every single day. When you practice them in English, you slowly train your brain to stop translating. Let me tell you a little story about how I learned this myself. When I started learning Spanish, I used to translate everything. I'd think in English, then try to change it word by word. And it was a disaster. I'd freeze all the time. But one day, my teacher told me, Paul, stop translating. Just talk like a baby. Use the words you already know. And that was a game changer. Because babies don't translate. They just listen, copy, and understand through context.
Yes, that's such a great example. Babies don't say, let me translate that word first. They just listen, copy, and understand. And that's exactly how you can do it too. You can start thinking in small English chunks. For example, instead of translating I want to eat something from your language, think directly as a chunk, I want to eat something. It becomes one natural idea, not 5 separate words.
Yes, that's a super powerful trick, learning English in chunks, because your brain loves patterns, not individual words. Say this with me, everyone. I'm on my way. I'll call you back. It's up to you. Each of those is a natural English chunk. Don't break them down, just use them whole. When you practice that way, you're not just learning grammar, you're learning how real people talk.
Exactly. That's why thinking in English is also about listening more. The more you listen to English, the more natural phrases you'll collect in your brain. Podcasts, short YouTube videos, even English subtitles. They help your brain store ready-made English ideas. So later, when you speak, you just pull them out. No translation needed.
That's so true. Let's actually do a mini exercise right now. Everyone listening, wherever you are, take a look around you. Now try to describe what you see, but in English. Say things like, there's a chair. My phone is on the table. I see a window. It's sunny outside. Simple, right? But powerful, because right now your brain is connecting thoughts directly to English words.
Exactly. And that's how fluency starts. Not by memorizing long lists, but by describing your world in English every day. Even if it's just 5 minutes, talk to yourself in English. While cooking, walking, or cleaning, say what you're doing. I'm cutting vegetables. I'm washing my hands. I'm opening the window. It might sound silly, but it works.
Oh, totally. I still do that sometimes. When I'm cooking, I talk to myself like a cooking show host. Today we're adding just a pinch of salt, a touch of pepper. Oh, look at that beautiful sauce. That's the secret. Make English fun. Because when you enjoy it, your brain remembers it.
Yes, and another tip, try to think in English questions too. Like when you're wondering something, instead of your language, ask, what time is it? Where are my keys? Do I have a meeting today?
Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, this is part 2 of our episode, Think in English, Stop Translating from Your Language. And if you've already listened to part 1, well done. You're already practicing the habit of thinking in English. Now, it's time to take things a little deeper. In this half, Anna and I will show you how to go beyond simple thinking, how to feel English, how to connect emotionally with the language. Because real fluency isn't just about words, it's about emotion, rhythm, and connection.
Yes, absolutely. You know, Paul, when I started learning French years ago, I realized something important. I could understand the grammar perfectly, but my speech still sounded flat, like a robot trying to sound polite. But when I started to feel what I was saying, when I put emotion into the words, suddenly it felt natural.
Exactly. And that's what many English learners miss. They focus so much on being correct that they forget to be human. Language is emotion. When you say, I'm happy, you should sound happy. When you say, I'm tired, your voice should feel slower, softer. When you say, I can't believe it, you should sound surprised. That's how you make your English real.
Exactly. And thinking in English also means feeling in English. So if something funny happens, don't just translate your reaction. Say it like an English speaker would. Oh my gosh, are you serious? No way. Those tiny emotional reactions make you sound alive and help you stop translating.
Right, because when you say no way or that's awesome, you're not translating, you're reacting. And that's the key. You see, when your brain reacts in English, you've crossed the bridge from learning English to living English. That's when fluency begins to feel natural.
Paul, I think many learners want that feeling, but they don't know how to reach it. So let's show them some ways to practice emotional thinking in English step by step.
Great idea. All right, everyone listening, here are some practical exercises you can do every day to strengthen your English thinking muscles. Exercise 1. Start with emotional journaling. Every evening, write or think in English about how your day was. Not just what you did, but how you felt. Say things like, I was really excited today. I felt nervous before the meeting. I was proud of myself. I got a little angry, but then I calmed down. When you connect feelings with English words, your thoughts start forming naturally in English.
Yes, and you don't even have to write full sentences if that feels hard.
You can just list emotions like happy, confused, tired, hopeful. That's already helping your brain create emotional links in English. And here's another exercise. Talk to yourself like a storyteller. For example, say, "Today was crazy. Guess what happened at lunch?" Or, "You won't believe what my friend said." Even if you're talking to yourself, do it with emotion, because the moment you add feeling, your brain stops needing to translate.
Exactly. That's how actors learn new languages too. They memorize emotion, not just words. They repeat lines with feeling, and that's what makes the words stick. So think about that. When you say a sentence, feel it. It's okay to exaggerate a little when you practice. Say it with energy. Say it with heart. Because when you train your emotion, your fluency improves automatically.
That's so true. And here's another practical tip. Exercise 3. Try switching your phone or apps to English. When you see words like settings, notifications, gallery, battery saver, your mind starts associating those words directly with meaning. No translation required. You'll be surprised how quickly you start thinking, "I need to turn off notifications," instead of translating it.
Exactly. That's such an easy, passive way to train your mind. And if you want to take it further, try labeling things around your home with sticky notes. Write mirror, door, window, remote, light switch. Then, every time you touch them or see them, say the word in English. Soon those objects will have English names in your brain. That's how thinking in English becomes natural.
Yes, and don't forget, exercise 4, shadowing. That means listening to an English speaker and repeating what they say at the same time. If you hear, "I'm going to the store," you repeat immediately, "I'm going to the store." It feels a little silly at first, but it's powerful. It connects listening, speaking, and thinking in real time.
Oh, yeah. I used to do that with movie scenes. I'd watch a short clip and repeat exactly what the actor said. The same tone, the same emotion, the same pauses. That's how you pick up rhythm and melody in English. And rhythm is a huge part of thinking naturally.
Exactly. English has its own music. It rises, it falls, it flows. When you listen and repeat, your brain starts feeling that music automatically. That's why native speakers sound smooth, not because they use big words, but because they ride the rhythm of English.
Yes, English is like jazz. You don't need to play every note perfectly. You just need to stay in rhythm. That's why I always tell learners, don't speak English word by word. Speak it like music. Connect the words. Let them flow. Try saying, "I'm going to grab some coffee. Want to join me? It's kind of cold today." Those are natural, connected sounds. And once your mouth and mind get used to them, translation disappears.
Yes, and it's totally okay to sound different at first. Your accent, your rhythm, it's all part of your identity. Don't try to erase who you are. Just focus on clarity and confidence. Fluency isn't about copying someone, it's about expressing you in English.
That's such an important message because sometimes learners think, "I'll never sound like a native speaker." But that's not the goal. The goal is to be understood and to express yourself freely. And when you think in English, you start to discover your English personality, the version of you that speaks and feels in another language. And trust me, that's exciting.
It really is. And I love how some people even notice they act differently in English. Maybe more confident, more friendly, or more open. It's like unlocking a new part of yourself. That's the beauty of language. It doesn't just change how you speak, it changes how you see the world.
Exactly.
When you think in English, you also start to understand English culture, humor, and expressions more easily. Because you're no longer translating, you're feeling the meaning directly. For example, when someone says, break a leg, you don't panic, you know it means good luck. Or when someone says, it's raining cats and dogs, you don't look up for animals, you just smile because you get it. Smile.
Yes, that's my favorite part too. Those little moments when English starts to feel yours. So if you're listening to this right now, remember you're already doing it. Every time you listen, think, or speak in English, you're training your brain to stay in English mode. Even when you make mistakes, you're growing. Even when you forget words, you're learning. Every tiny step counts.
Exactly. And thinking in English isn't something that happens overnight. It's something that happens slowly, naturally, and beautifully over time. But it will happen if you stay consistent. So here's your challenge for this week. Every day, choose one moment when you'll think only in English. Maybe when you're cooking, walking, waiting in line, or before you sleep. Don't force it. Just let your mind wander in English.
And when you catch yourself translating, don't get upset. Just smile and gently switch back. Say, okay, let's try again in English. That's how you retrain your brain with kindness and patience.
Beautifully said, Anna. And I think that's the perfect note to end on today. To everyone listening, remember, fluency doesn't come from perfection. It comes from practice, patience, and passion. Keep listening, keep thinking, and most importantly, keep speaking English, even to yourself, because your voice matters.
Yes, and we believe in you. You've already taken the hardest step. You've started. Now just keep going. One thought, one word, one day at a time. Soon, English won't just be a language you study, it'll be a language you live. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you in our next episode where we'll explore something really fun,